before the show starts, Dennis and Brent are picking on me for no reason. Earnings expectations high, earnings expectations low, dips, rips. But you know what? Things are looking pretty good on this Thursday morning. We'll get to Robinhood and AppLovin, IONQ, and whatever you guys want to cover on the earnings front. 8:35, we got another Hive interview with Darcy Daubaras, who is head of Hive Digital. Folks, it's Thursday. It's a busy day. Let's get it started on pre-market prep.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. And this is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
Traders and investors, we are starting out in the green. Now a Schwab with the S&P 500 index futures trading up 12 handles, a little dip on the close, but the buy the dippers came in overnight. The buck pulling back from par, down 25 cents, 99.80. TLT, rough couple days, but up 17 cents, 89.13. Crude in no man's land, USO up 52 cents, 71.55. GLD, that's up a couple bucks, 368.58, trying to make a rounded bottom there. SLV flat, 43.78. Bitcoin futures, well, you got the bounce off 100K, but we are not distancing ourselves from it as of yet, down $1,230. These charts are brought to you by TradeStation, and we all are going to be learning a lot more about the TradeStation platform starting in this month of November. Let's bring on Triple D. Triple D, how are you on this Thursday?
Fabulous. Fabulous. Just fabulous. How are you?
Can I complain a little bit?
Oh my gosh, already? You're trying to ruin my fabulous morning? Why? What do you need to complain about?
Government shutdown of the airports?
The airlines.
Yeah.
You're worried about this?
I am.
Yeah. Traveling.
Yep.
I'm worried about it too because I had some jets long.
Yeah, oh, really?
That too. For selfish reasons. I don't like losing money. Yeah, that's it. No, I know. Brentster, what is this news? Tell me about this. Bring Brentster in here. What is this airlines? We're going to lose 10% of capacity or something because of the government shutdown. What is this headline on these airlines?
I heard that the U.S. will be cutting 10% of flights to save on costs for airport traffic controllers and other government public jobs. That's kind of it. We saw the airliners move in a little bit last night. Nothing like crazy or anything.
So is this temporary thing because of the government shutdown, or are they trying to make this more of a permanent thing?
This is because of the government shutdown. Temporary, as far as I know, yes.
And the government shutdown looms on, going to go on. This is now the longest one in history. Like we've said, there is the distinct possibility that this is going to start to hit GDP, but we don't have any GDP numbers to find that out. So the party goes on. What are they saying on our prediction markets, wherever you like to go for your favorite?
Oh, yeah. Markets? Michael Franz, what are they saying? Oh,
for the government shutdown
here?
What is the odds that this thing's getting done this month? Like, where are we? Like, can we ask it, like, is it getting done in November? Is it getting done in 2025? Where are the odds here?
I'm looking.
We got the Brentster hunting. We went off the rails.
Sorry.
Joel did it. He was complaining, and now we got a whole airline thing and government shutdowns, and we went on this tangent when we've got stocks like Robinhood reporting here. But let's find out. Government shutdown.
Chat.
How long will the shutdown government last?
Mike says still about 85%.
85% chance it's over in November?
Yes. Yep. And so I don't have it in front of me, but we talked a little bit about it maybe yesterday that a couple days ago, the odds for November 15th went up from the odds for it being over by November 15th went up from about under 50% to around 70%. The number that Mike gave, 85% is by the end that it ends by the end of November.
I'm going to say that this doesn't get solved by the end of November. That's what I'm
No?
calling right now. So
Oh,
I'm going against all odds.
Thanksgiving?
The busiest travel week
That would be a real
of the
mess.
year.
They're
I
going to
think
try. Okay, so they're going to try to get it done by then. If it doesn't get done by then it's really going to linger
if
around here.
if people are if Joe Smith is calling up his family on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving and saying, I can't come visit you, little Lisa Sue in
Well, the
my
airports are still open though. They're just losing 10% of.
there's going to be major backlash if this is not solved by the holiday travel season.
Okay, so they got basically 2.5 weeks to figure this out. That's where we're at. 2.5 weeks to figure this out. Okay, enough prediction markets.
Well, it's
Back to
just
stock
you know what
markets.
happened that
What?
I mean, this is all posturing because of what happened in the elections on Tuesday. We all know what happened. We all, you can be unhappy or happy with the results, but there was a big shift, and there's a lot of tug of war going on here, and both the Democrats and the Republicans are going to use every move to make the other one look bad. And that's it.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line. Ineptness, right? 50-50 chance it's over by the end of next week. We'll see. We'll see.
We already seen Robinhood earnings.
Yes.
We're going to start with that one because that was the big one to report last night. And the fade trade is what we've been talking about. And the fade trade works two ways, folks. You can sell rips or you can buy dips, but it's a contrarian strategy that moves opposite to the initial move. That is what has been working in this earnings season very well. There is always exceptions to the rule, and there will be people in the chat that point out these exceptions. But again, last night, dip buyers just loom in Robinhood here. Brentster, give us the report. It got dinged on the initial report, but yet again, those buy the dippers emerge.
Yeah, and I don't even necessarily know why it got dinged on the report, except that fundamentals don't mean a ton in this market. High bar, true, yeah, very high bar. 61 cents versus 48-cent estimate, about a 13-cent beat there. Sales 1.27 billion versus under 1.2 billion estimate. They didn't really give any guidance. They did give some preliminary data for October, and they did announce that their CFO was going to be retiring at the end of next year.
Stock got hit pretty hard. It was down $7 at one point in time. I'm not sure. The expected move was 9, I think. Did we?
11. I have 11.5.
It was 11. Yeah, we fought about
this
this yesterday. We had 11.5 and 12.5, and we were all.
I got
over.
11.
So 11, $12. So it stayed inside that expected move, respected it. And now, if you're looking, that premium just getting sucked right out of it because this thing is flat. Market makers love it when you have these nice premiums and the things go flat. So, I mean, that's the play. Fading it all. Fade it all. Buy the dip last night, Robinhood, win money. Stocks rip up, win money. That's been the play. It continues to be the play. I'm going to continue to do that until it stops working. Give me a level. Joel, level me up on Robinhood.
One level. The close, 142.48. And you're going to get chopped up.
Magnet. The magnet
You're going to
level.
get chopped up trading this thing today at 142.48. That's the only thing I can guarantee you. That's the close. That's the mark. For the bulls to take control, you got to take out the double top at 144.58976.
Let's go to AppLovin. Same thing. Lots of chop last night. It is a choppy market. But it's been a steady climber here after the chop, after the initial chop. Brentster's going to give us that report. We did just sneak under and turn red very so briefly on this report. And that initial move was wrong again. And then we ripped higher. So give us the news on AppLovin.
Q3 earnings 245 versus 241. Slight beat there. Sales 1.4 billion versus 1.34 billion. That's a nicer beat. Q4 sales expected 1.57 to 1.6 billion. Analysts down around 1.55 billion. So a modest beat for the quarter. Better guidance for AppLovin, I would say.
It was an initial fall, and I see 605, Joel, on the print. Do you see 605?
Yeah.
You got to squint your eyes and get it because it literally lasted like 3 milliseconds. It was just enough to beat up some news algos. And then they started ripping it, and they kept climbing it. They ripped it too much, of course. So it goes down to 605, then rips to 650, and then leaks all the way back down to like 625. Hangs out at 625 for a couple hours, and then this so steady climber. But the initial chop again, you're seeing this. Obviously, this happens all the time on earnings reports because liquidity vanishes, and one buyer or one seller can really move price. But AppLovin, definitely they liking it now. Here's a stock. It's back from the dead. The short seller reports are long in its history. AppLovin, not far from all-time highs.
No. You haven't hit the expected move on the upside yet. That will take you to 685. So I would just say, hey, what's the pre-market high right now? It's 674. I'd say you want to get above that 674. You want to get towards that expected move. You want to move up closer towards 700. Or maybe it's a little bit of a fade. You take some profits after, you just traded down earlier in the week under 600. Now you're back near 700. So there you go. Well, let's look at AppLovin. The company makes a lot of money. Michael Pachter's explained to me 400 times what they do. I'm still not super sure,
get it either.
But he does, and this has been one hell of a stock.
Okay, one stock that hasn't really been shopping around at all, and it is your loser of the day. It is Duolingo, D-U-O-L. It's down 25%. The leak continues to happen here in DUOL. They did report this morning. Is this morning they reported?
Or
last night? No, this was last night.
This was last night. Yep.
Give us those earnings here, Brentster, because this has been a steady leak.
Don't have a clean comparison here for the earnings per share figure, but the company did report GAAP earnings $5.95. Sales do look a little bit more comparable, though. A beat here, $271 versus $260. They did raise their 2025 sales guidance pretty nicely. Prior range around 1.01 to 1.02 billion, now up to around 1.03 billion. Analysts are down around 1.02 billion. So report looked okay. They raised the guidance. Don't matter.
Price target lowered at Evercore. Price target lowered at Needham. Price target lowered at Barclays. Price target lowered at Wells Fargo. Price target lowered at Goldman Sachs. Price target lowered at Scotiabank all this morning. Thank you very much, analysts, for being all over this. Joel is all over it. He'll give us
bullish. Well, I've never been more bullish.
You've never been more. It's like the most bullish chart you could ever see.
Most bullish chart.
Buy low, sell high.
And all the analysts are jumping ship too. You know what? They're speaking out of both sides of their mouth.
Well, they're all still buys.
Did you catch that was a joke? Duolingo?
Joel, your wit at 8:13 in the morning just goes over me and the Brentster's head. It's so witty. Yes, that was a good one, actually. I'm sure the chat enjoyed that.
Help me here. There was another stock, education stock, that got killed earlier in the week.
Well,
what was
there's
that?
EDU, but that wasn't that one because it didn't get killed earlier in the week.
What was
it,
Joel?
Was
it earnings? Was it an earnings company?
Mm-hmm. It was a stock that went crazy during COVID. It was just less than a week ago. Come on.
EDU. What's the other one? What is it, chat?
What
chat
do you...
Chegg. We always forget Chegg.
Chegg.
Well, I think it's just been killed. It's 92 cents now. It looks like this company's over. They go under $1. This was $100 back in the bubble of all bubbles of 2021. Stock at $115. It's now a cool 92 cents. So you know what? Not all stocks go up. This one goes down. I don't know. What do you think? A Duolingo's another Chegg? Is that what you're insinuating?
I'm just saying if you took this long into the report.
It was another one. Sorry, it was Learn.
Learn, yeah.
Right, Learn.
Yeah.
That was Joel does remember.
I don't know if that's the one you were thinking of, Joel, but that one,
that one down 50%.
Yeah, that was one of the big.
Yeah,
big
they may have
losers.
to change the symbol to unlearn. Learn.
I'm going to pass on the technicals on this one.
On LRN or
on Duolingo?
Duolingo.
I mean,
these stocks are scary. And they're not right. So Learn has not bounced. Chegg is basically over, and Duolingo's coming off. And I don't know. This seems like better places for your money. the language stocks. Question.
Okay.
You got all these platforms that are teaching you languages.
There's
What
millions.
about AI and ChatGPT and all this? Is there not going to be ways that they're going to have products teach you this for free? You know, you get in there and you just go, and probably going to be a lot more things coming up like that. Like, let's work with our AI co-pilot here. And I want you today to teach me how to speak Spanish. And it's going to sit here and just talk to you. So I think this area, I'm just thinking out loud. This is like, I've literally thought about this for 30 seconds. But I'm like, this feels like a sector for disruption. Like these online educators, like the online, learning. Because AI is eventually going to get good enough that it's going to be able to help you with this stuff. And you just have your co-pilot going and it'll just help you along. Or, hey, I got a meeting in Spanish here today. Can you interpret for me, AI? Yes, no problem. And they interpret for you. So then you don't even have to learn the language.
That's where I thought you were gonna go with that.
I think both
Yeah.
ways. So I think, this learning a second language here is not going to be as valuable as it was before AI. So here is, instant language transformation already out. So yeah, and people are getting dumber. I agree with you. But this is the way the world is going. We're all going to get a lot dumber when AI does everything for us. We're also going to get a lot lazier when physical AI starts doing stuff for us. But there's already a movie about that. What was the movie? We always forget the name. The movie where the whole AI does everything and all the human beings get fat.
What's
Crap.
the little guy's name? It's a little
Yeah.
scooter, right?
Help us, Wally.
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 What a chat
Wally.
we have. Chat like
See, they've thought of all this stuff. I
know.
mean, to the Terminator, so there's two scenarios basically. There's Terminator scenario and Wally scenario. The Terminator scenario is AI realizes they don't need humans anymore and they kill us all. Now that's nice. Wally is a nice scenario too, where humans realize they don't need to do anything anymore. They all just get fat. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound that bad either. So either way, actually, it all sounds bad. So I'm being sarcastic, but I mean, those are the two main scenarios. So we have two movies. So go watch Terminator. Go watch Wall-E. You come up with which scenario you think AI is taking us. There could be a scenario in the middle as well.
Question. Not a quiz, but a question.
Okay.
Did we corrupt our chat or did our chat corrupt us?
With?
Just this weird.
Oh, we've corrupted the chat and they've corrupted us. It is a back and forth.
Mutual, very, very mutual relationship.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going, chat. This is good. This is healthy.
We should have a chat takeover. Just let them run the whole show.
Well, eventually we're going to have our AI hosts. Like we don't have to be here. It's just AI hosting. So you just like to listen to the AI. They're talking their little robotic voice, but then they'll eventually get my voice going, and we go like that. And they'll get Joel's voice going. They'll get Brentster's voice going. And, and you won't even know we're not here. We're on vacation. We're literally just sitting back like Wally, just eating, French fries, drinking our Cokes and just watching the show and watching it work. And, and that's it. And the AI does it all for us.
Oh, did you guys remember the show Max Headroom? Do you remember?
Oh yeah,
that
for
show?
sure. Yeah.
Great show. That was a great show. That was all right. Let's go.
We have went off the rails. We were trying to do earnings, and somehow Duolingo brought us into this whole conversation of the end of the world through AI, or are we all getting fat? If we're all getting fat, though, maybe we should. Here's a segue for you here. Let's look at the pizza earnings, because if we're all getting fat, we're all going to get more pizza. We're going to eat more pizza. And Papa John's has been on a wild ride here in the last week. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, it was rumored that Apollo was going to bid for this company as high as $64 a share. Just 2 days ago, Apollo pulls the bid. Said, no, we're out. We don't want your company. Stock tanks all the way down to $38. It then rebounds back up to 44 or 45 on the dead cat bounce. Now it has leaked. The earnings, not that great. I have them for you, Brentster. So if you want to give them, you can. But I'm right here, so I have them open already.
Go for it.
So Pizza reported, and they missed on both the top and the bottom line. 32 cents versus 41, 508 million versus 523 million. So missing the top, missing the bottom. We haven't heard guidance yet because it's just reported this morning. Guidance will probably be on the call soon. But now we come all the way back down. So if we're going into this scenario where AI is going to make us all lazy and we're just going to all sit back and eat pizza, maybe I want to own pizza stocks. Maybe pizza's an AI play.
They actually cut guidance on the earnings report.
Oh, they did. So they cut
did.
guidance too.
Yep, they cut guidance. Yep.
Okay, so this is a miss, and lower down. That is not good. The only thing, probably reason why this is not down even more is because some people like me would speculate that Apollo could just be positioning. Maybe they're just saying, hey, we're out, but, stock tanks now, well, we'll come in a little bit lower. We've seen that happen before too. So where there is smoke, sometimes there is still, even when the smoke and the fire gets put out, sometimes there's a couple embers there and they reignite. So I would say there's not a non-zero possibility that Apollo could still come back here. But with that being said, stock speed up. It's giving back everything here. Papa John's is not Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza is the best of breed for a long time, and it's beat up too, so maybe you just want to go there. But the cool ticker symbol P, a zebra A, Joel. Give me a level here.
No,
we
gotta talk fundamentals here. First of all,
let's do it. I love fundamentals.
Have you ever had a Papa John's pizza?
Yes. They had the Big Mac pizza for a while. Do you guys remember
Didn't they
this?
jump the shark? Didn't they try and do a hamburger pizza once?
That's what I mean, hamburger. It was a hamburger pizza, but it tasted like a Big Mac. Like it was like, I don't think they call it probably couldn't call it the Big Mac pizza, but they call it like as a hamburger pizza, cheeseburger pizza. And it actually, I had it and I was like, I ate the first slice. I was like, this is amazing. This is awesome. This thing tastes like I'm eating a burger. And then I had the second slice and I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of weird because I feel like I'm eating a burger, but I'm eating pizza. And then I wouldn't eat the third slice. I'm like, no, I just got to go eat a burger. So that's kind of where it went. It was a slippery slope. But yes, that was Papa John's. So they're creative over there.
So Dennis, I'll tell you why these pizza stocks are in big trouble. And if you get this question correct, I will not quiz you for the rest of the month.
What an incentive. This is quite an incentive.
So there's a place, Jets Pizza, right, Brent?
That's good. I know Jets.
There's like Jets in my
Jets, Joel.
There's like Jets in my blood.
So what do you think they charge for 2 slices in a Diet Coke?
I mean, probably 2 slices in a Diet Coke.
Well,
I mean, it's probably like
it's probably $20.
$12.
7.
Oh, that's a good deal. Whoa. Hold the fort. Jets. I don't think it's public.
No, I know. I just looked.
It's not.
No, it used to be $5.99.
Like I went to Jets,
Trevor.
but that's the airline. So
$7.
Frank Holmes did not all of a sudden invest in Jets Pizza. I don't.
I looked at this. I'll just do technicals. I saw this the other day when that news came out, and it was like under 40, and it was like 37, 38, and I'm like, well, someone just wanted to pay 64 for it. I'd pay 38, 39, right, at a discount.
I think like that.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I look at it, but. It's off the low of the move. I don't know. I kind of think you find buy the dippers in this one. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is coming in to buy it, but that's a big fall. Everyone that was faded in the ARB and everything, it's coming in. I don't, shorten it down here. Sure, you can. You just wanted to take out the low of the move here. At the low of the move is it's not that far away. 38.25. So there it is. It did not. It got under there in the pre-market. So that's the big level. It's the only thing you have. Pre-market low 36.08.
I want to just
go ahead,
Dennis. Let me just amend something that you guys kind of were suggesting there. I think if this like rumor comes back, it's because people have recirculated it. The timing of all of this rumor, the price action, the timing of the earnings report, this stock as a rumor mill, this cycle of it going through rumors, it's all just a little too coincidental for me. So that's all I wanted to say on this.
So you think Apollo's out and they're really out?
I think that I don't know. I don't know if any of this was real. I'm sorry to say, but
it's actually true. Did we actually hear from Apollo? No, we heard this via the Wall Street Journal, I believe. So
Reuters was the one that caught it. Reuters was the big one that caught it. Yeah. And so I'm trying to be a little subtle here. I'm using that phrase very deliberately. Caught this rumor. They caught this chat.
And rumors are rumors. That doesn't mean that they may have sniffed around. They may have not even been sniffing around. Rumors can just be like wrong too. You know this, Brentster, from covering news for all the years he did on Benzinga. Sometimes the rumors are just flat out wrong. So, it's not like you're getting official press releases from the company saying, yes, we are officially out. Sometimes you see that. We've been for this company. Now we're officially out. We never saw any official press release on that we're trying to buy pizza and then we're not interested in buying pizza. We never saw that at all.
And
so
like the 50, in my opinion, $50 in this stock was a notable level. And this rumor was out there. It didn't really catch. It kind of caught one day. The stock didn't get over. The stock very briefly got over $50, came back off and sold out. And then this rumor was floated the very next day, and the stock got back over $50. And then when it was on the downside, literally the first moment, the first day, one day after the stock was back below $50, another rumor was floated. I don't know, just very, very coincidental, all very coincidental for me. And we know that this stock has been one that has been getting kicked around by the rumor mill people, whoever they are.
I don't think it gets crushed today, though, because of the possibility. Like, I think, a lot of times short sellers be like, miss, guide down. I'm going to short stocks. But we're not in this market where shorts have been really rewarded. We've been rewarded for selling the rips, but not so much selling the dips. And then the second thing is, you really want to short a stock that was in play last week? I was like, so I think that there's not going to be this crushing, like this thing goes down 10, 15, 20% today. I think if the rumors weren't out there, that it could have been worse, though.
Sure.
So I think the rumors are probably saving the price action with it only being down 4% because it was pretty ugly numbers here. Okay, the geese are back. I don't know what the hell, but the Canada geese are all back on my lawn. And I thought they were gone. I hadn't seen them for a month here. Now they're all back. They're all congregating here. They're all pooping on my lawn here again. My kids already gone to school because normally I'd say, Spencer, get geese. Now go get the geese. They're all over the lawn again. I need to get a dog. Mike, if he's listening to it, go get Big Ben. We need Big Ben over here. We need to take care of these geese because they're annoying. So this brings us into the Goose earnings. Oh, yeah, I have a segue there. GOOS, down 11% here. I hate the Goose stock. I hate the Canada geese. They're literally just everywhere, and they're annoying. I can't wait. That's the only thing good about winter is the geese leave. That's the only thing good about it with the snow. But, okay. Canada Goose, give me the earnings here, Brentster, because they're not good. They just reported here about an hour ago, and they are going down.
Mixed report, it looks like a loss of 14 cents. Analysts were looking for a loss of just 8 cents. Sales did beat, though, 272 million versus under 250 million. Let me just see real quick in the press release if there was guidance. I don't really see any guidance out of Goose.
Joel, level me up.
This stock is in such no man's land. It has not hit the August 26th low yet at 1209. So I would take a look at that. But the real super extra major support, it's down at $11. So there you go. Those are just minor levels coming back on the upside. The 50-day now is going to be major resistance because that was the site of 3 lows, 4 lows, 5 lows from the last 5 days. So there you go. Major support 11, major resistance at 1360. And I know I've said this once. I've said this 1,000 times. The coats are too warm. Have you ever put one on? The coats are too warm.
The Goose down is too heavy for you, Joe?
I don't doubt it. These things are out here all the time. They're floating in the bloody water. The water's 35 degrees. So, of course, the coat's warm. The feathers are warm. They sit out there. I never saw a goose shivering in my life. I've never actually I've seen they're out there all the time, never shivering, just sitting there. Look, there's friends are coming now. They actually thought I was calling for them. Yeah, these candidates.
Let's go. Hey, we got a super sticker
Big Ben.
here. We got to go. We got to pay the bills here, Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
Oracle. Let's talk Oracle.
What happened with Oracle? And what has happened with Oracle? It has come off significantly since they had all this crazy good guidance that they were talking about here. It has almost filled the gap, Joel. It hasn't quite filled the gap, but has almost filled the gap. I took a starter position here, a half-size position in Oracle at 300 in my long-term account. That's been a mistake. I'm going to double down on this puppy here when this thing fills the gap. I think you think it fills the gap? It's come this far. It's going to fill a gap, isn't it?
I'm really not going to make any comments on this because when you took that half position at 300, we tried to talk about it a little bit, and
you didn't.
Now
like
it's
it?
at and now at what 251. Yeah,
Joel
you
said,
can buy
why
some
would
more
you
when it
buy that
goes.
at 300 when it went down to 251? Man, wouldn't it be nice to be right 100% of the
I'm not
time?
right 100%
Wouldn't
of
it
the
be
time.
nice?
I
Joel
just
is.
I did not like
Except
the
on
position,
Peloton.
and we talked about it, and you're like, it's a half position, la la la. I mean, I'm not right. You're
Kinda
right a lot more than I am.
kinda
I mean,
did.
this thing
You
is just
know.
falling off.
You know when I take a half-size position, I'm usually wrong. You know
Yes.
it because I'm not
Yeah.
convicted. He's realized this after 12 years of doing the podcast with me. When I take a half-size position, it's because I'm like, yeah, come see, come sa. How you doing? 6'7", just chilling. Yeah,
Well, you
that's where. So when you're so on a position, you probably shouldn't do it. You should be in or you should be out. But I was like, I'll take a half size. If it comes lower, I'll take the full size. Well, I'm going to take the full size here. 240. I'm
okay.
saying here, Audrey, 240. That's where I'm looking.
Okay, and you know what your second worst strategy is for long-term
This
investing?
is a good say. My worst strategies. Can we talk about my best strategies? Let's
No,
talk about my worst
no.
strategies. I like this.
Okay, your worst strategy is when like you buy something and it just goes crazy and it goes up and you
No, I'm
take
like, I
a
can't help
profit.
it. I have to sell.
You take a profit. No. I'm not saying you sell or not sell. You sell on your own, and then you get a great sell off. Let's say something goes to 100 to 160, and like you get this short period, you slam it, you take the profit, and then it comes back to like 115. And you're like, you know what? I bought it at 100, I sold it at 116. I'm going to buy it back at 115.
Yeah.
Not based on the same setup that you had before, and then the stock goes to 85.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Gilead, did you do that in Gilead, or what one was that?
I've done it a few times there. So SMCI was a bad one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
From like, what was it, 250 to 1,000. And then it came back down to 700. I was like, I'm going to rebuy some because you know what? I'm playing with Alice's money. And then I lost like 200 points, 700 to 500. It was ugly. So, and SMCI, this is a good segue into SMCI. Whoa, I'm dropping my pen. I'm all over the place here, off the rails. SMCI reported earnings
yesterday.
No, we already covered that one. I covered that one yesterday.
Yep. That was Tuesday afternoon. SMCI.
Yeah, they did an upgrade today though. Argus upgrading it. What do you think of SMCI? Stop. Full stop. $40. Huge support. It didn't quite get there.
That's good support. I'd say the longer it's nibbling. It's getting down there. It's slowing down. If you want to start to build and look for that $40 area, that's good support. It's been a big fall, so I'd like it. I'd say 40. That'd be a target. Longer it takes to get down there, that means buyers are stepping up. But just going back to the Oracle, yeah, wait for the gap fill and see what happens. That's what I would say at this point.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's come so far. Why not get the gap fill? I mean, if you can't take it, you're trying to save 10 more bucks. Sometimes you don't get the whole thing. A la JP Morgan with Joel the number of years ago there when you're like, it's come all the way down to 30. It's going to 28. And I was like, okay, I'll wait for 28. And now JP Morgan, which I never got in my long-term account, is $311. So sometimes don't try to save a buck or two if it's your long-term account. If you really want it, maybe you just jump in it.
And I have it at 130.
JP Morgan? Yeah, you bought it at 130, you sucker. So I'm buying at 30. You're like, no, you'll get it at 28. Then he buys it at 130. He's way up money at 311. You didn't tell me he was buying it at 130.
I did tell you it was during the banking crisis.
Oh, man. Yeah, you did actually. You went long. I remember you went long because all these regional banks go out of business. The only one left standing is going to be Jamie Dimon. So you're like, it was like the hedge against all the regionals going out of business.
I just want to tell you something interesting. Emily took pictures of Jamie Dimon yesterday.
Where is Jamie
for the New York Times. He was here for a summit, and she was like, she wanted to get a profile one, and he was like really busy, and she was like, no, just sit down here for 1 second. And he goes, oh, okay. And then so she got a picture. Then also there's a picture of the new mayor of Detroit in the New York Times that Emily took too. So shout out to Emily, who's also part of the PreMarket Prep SBN crew.
First female mayor of Detroit.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Jamie Dimon usually bearish. Okay. 8:35. We're going to get to our Hive interview here in just a second. But just before we go to the Hive interview, quickly here, I want to sneak one more in, and it's IONQ because everybody's watching these quantum stocks. And IONQ trading up 4.8%. I was like, I don't know what earnings to expect here because these things are pretty much pre-revenue, but they have a little bit of revenue. So I didn't realize this. So IONQ reports earnings. They lost 17 cents, supposed to lose 44 cents. They actually had $39 million in revenue against estimates of only $26 million. And they raised the guidance here. I mean, when you give this perspective, though, when IONQ trades for a market cap, drum roll please, of $19 billion, it's kind of absurd to talk revenue in the double-digit millions of dollars. It is currently trading 241 times sales. Yeah, that's not earnings. 241 times sales. I don't know what to say. I like the quantum story, and maybe they're going to get a big contract from Microsoft one day, but it's probably a lot of days away. What are your thoughts, just quickly before the Hive interview, of the whole quantum space here, Joel? Like, and Brentster, you can chime in too if you want. Like, we've come off, but technically speaking, that could be a segment, technically speaking. $84.64 was the high earlier last month. We are now basically 1 month later, and the stock is $58. So it's come off a lot. Is the highs in? Is the story over? I mean, there's so many questions and so few answers here, and nobody has a crystal ball in this quantum. The story is sexy as hell, but the dollars and the revenue at 39 million and 19 billion, I just can't even grasp this.
Overheads, I mean, yeah, quantum and AI, they're here. They're, you know, how long they're going to take. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. I mean, yeah. I just say that there's overhead supply here, right? And you got the 50-day moving average. So respect 61 on the upside, the pair of highs there. But, man, you came off. You made a much lower high. Then you broke down again. So just check. I don't know. Overhead supply. And I don't know how much underneath demand there is until you get under $50.
I just think, like, why not play? If you want to play quantum, why not go for IBM?
That's what I did.
That you did that?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I bought IBM back at 240 because I was like, it's a safer way to play quantum. But you're not getting like 200-300% moves in IBM. That's the other thing. So it's like the conservative, slow way to play quantum is where it is. But I think IBM could be the player in quantum eventually. But, you know, we thought that too with AI, and they were obviously had Watson years ago, and they dropped the ball there. So IBM has been known to drop a ball or two. So take that with the, you know, whatever you want. Okay. Let's do a little bit of Hive interviewing here. The Brentsta.
Investors, we have a very special guest today. That's Darcy Daubaras. He is the CFO for Hive Digital Technologies, joining us here on Pre-Market Prep. Darcy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joel. Really excited to be here with you and all your listeners.
All right, let's get your background a little bit. We don't have too many accountants on the show here, but I know you've been at Hive and at your current position. But give us a little bit of your background.
Yeah, so I'm a CFO and a chartered accountant here in Canada. I've been with Hive since 2018, so I've seen a lot of the ups and downs in the market. Starting out as an Ethereum miner with Hive, and through the evolution of the GPU mining with Ethereum, to building the Bitcoin facilities that we have right now, and also our high performance computing. So it's really exciting. You know, I've had a background in compliance reporting over the last 25 years. So it's been quite a ride with Hive, and we're enjoying every day. It's always exciting. There's always something new happening in this volatile world.
Yeah, that's for sure. So let's get right to to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. And being an accountant, right? What's more important than the balance sheet, right? You know, right? The checks and balances. Yeah. What role do you envision for Bitcoin as a treasury asset in corporate balance sheets?
I think it's going to become more and more important as you get the adoption across the United States and in the world. Is people are seeing it just as important as the other assets that you're holding on your balance sheet. as a cryptocurrency Bitcoin company, with the hashing that we do, we think it's important for our investors and for ourselves to try to hold a very solid cryptocurrency, and in our case, Bitcoin balance on it. And as time moves on, I think more and more banks and institutions are going to put value on that and give those companies like ours the ability to lend against it if we want to. And it's a strategic asset that's, even though we've got volatility in the cryptocurrency, it's an asset that's continuing and is proven to go up over time. It's not devalued. It's not, money printer go burr, where, the cash buying power of the cash that's on your balance sheet is, degrading every single day.
So when do you, looking forward here, one of the critiques of Bitcoin is like, can you go to the grocery store and buy a loaf of bread with Bitcoin? When do you see it being more of a transactional currency, which is something that could really, it's already had impressive moves and stuff, but give us a timetable of when, you're going to be using Bitcoin in everyday transactions.
Yeah, Joel, I wish I had a crystal ball for that. But, that's the momentum that I see us seeing right now, especially with the government adoption and focus that's been put on it within the United States. Is the more and more people learn about it, they're using it as an investment vehicle right now. But over time, I think through education of the regulators, of the people coming up, like the education that we can give to our young people growing up about Bitcoin and about fiat currency in general, they're going to understand that, hey, maybe the system we've got right now isn't working as well as it could be, and Bitcoin is a alternative to give yourself freedom. Nobody can take it away from you, and more people are going to look at it and say, hey, maybe I can go get that loaf of bread from the grocery store. But it's going to take a while, because you've got all of the large institutions, whether it's Visa, MasterCard, the Fed, that has a vested interest in keeping the current money supply going. So maybe a decade, maybe 2 decades, I don't know. It's going to be a very slow adoption. It might not even be in my lifetime. And I think I've still got a lot of life to live. But it's going to take a long time, because right now it is being seen as a investment vehicle, whether it's through the ETFs, the treasury companies. It's going to be slow, but the internet was slow when it started also. It took a long time from when, the internet was invested in, the late 60s or whatever it was, to mass adoption. And we're really on the floor, the first innings or the first yards of the marathon of this. But it's going to continue moving forward. And as people, learn more about it, adopt it, there's going to be more and more pressure in terms of, hey, why aren't you, accepting Bitcoin? Let's figure out a way to do this.
From an investor's perspective, what key metrics should we watch in crypto mining companies like Hive? And is the Bitcoin treasury that we just talked about, is those holdings play a key part?
I think they do. I think from an investor point of view, they take a look at companies as a cryptocurrency miner, Bitcoin miner, is what's your cost? How what kind of returns are you getting? How low is your cost to produce a Bitcoin? And that's why people, I think, are interested in getting exposure, whether it's through treasury companies or through mining companies, is you can go out and buy Bitcoin at whatever it's sitting at today. Let's say it's 120, or you can invest in a cryptocurrency company that does the mining and get exposure to that at a much lower cost, at the cost that company is mining the Bitcoin at. So I think the margins are very important. And I always look at it on the cost side, because it's so volatile in terms of the price of Bitcoin. it can make your bottom line look so much better if Bitcoin's at 100,000 versus 200,000. But if you're not as a CFO, you got to be focused on the cost side of it, because that's something you can control. You can't control the market side of it. You can't control where the price of Bitcoin is going. So I think astute investors look at it and kind of go, what's your cost structure? Where are you operating? Are they in good jurisdictions? And how comfortable are you with those kind of operations?
Given that Hive's in recent investments in data centers, what do you think the biggest advantage to those investments are? And what do you think is Hive's biggest bottleneck for more growth?
I think for Hive, I don't know if it's a bottleneck, but it's something that we're proud of, is our green energy. We've been green energy focused from day one, using hydroelectric and geothermal energy. And it takes a little bit harder to peel back the onion to find those really good opportunities using green energy in safe jurisdictions where you're fine with the political climate and you've got great access to local people that can run those operations for you. And that's been a great thing that Hive's been able to build down in Paraguay, is get access to electricity from the largest hydroelectric dam in the Western Hemisphere. And I think there's going to continue to be great opportunities around the world as these dams are built. And we're helping to balance the grid, because there's excess electricity there that the local electricity provider isn't getting paid for. And we can come in and help communities to put US dollars in their pockets so they can build up their local infrastructure and help their local communities.
Given that Hive, little market structure question here for you. Given that Hive is a dual listed company, the NASDAQ and the Toronto Stock Exchange, are there any complications that come from that dual listing, or is it pretty seamless?
No, it is very seamless being on the venture exchange and on the NASDAQ from a reporting point of view. It's very seamless. But what it does do, being on the NASDAQ, as everybody knows, it opens up just a huge access to capital. And we really saw that when we did list on the NASDAQ as dual listed, is just the exposure that we got to retail, the exposure that we're getting more to institutions. So it's all positive by being able to be dual listed, and there aren't large complications. And what Hive has done with our March 31st, 2025 year end is we converted over to US GAAP so that our financial statements can be comparable a lot easier to our peers. Before that, we were using IFRS or Canadian GAAP, and investors had to do some translation and sort of do some mental gymnastics to figure out what the differences were. Now we're trying to make it easier for all of our shareholders to compare apples to apples on that basis.
For our listening audience out there, we have traders and we have investors and, of all different time horizons. What's one crypto trend that you think will have a major impact in the next year?
I think the biggest thing is the adoption. What we're seeing specifically for Bitcoin is a lot more adoption by nation states, by individuals, and look at what's happening with the Bitcoin treasury companies and the ETFs. They're becoming more and more mainstream, and as that goes forward, I think it's just going to strengthen the ecosystem, because knowledge is power. And as more and more people understand the technology, understand what it is, their investment decisions are going to get better. And I think that it just helps every investor to try to look under the hood a little bit and understand the way it's working, because the cryptocurrency space is going to continue to be muddled a little bit by a lot of the smaller coins. But I think the large ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, are continue to be strong and are going to be the ones that are going to last, decades in terms of the strength. And we're in this for the long haul. It's not this isn't one of those ones where you get in and you get out real quick. This is something that's continuing to go up and is going in the right direction, as we know, and your listeners do too. It's volatile, but if you can have a long-term view on it, it's going to help you out in terms of your risk portfolio.
Yeah, that's risk for appetite is something all investors have to set their own levels of tolerance and patience. So the buzzword in the markets on Wall Street, AI, right? So
Absolutely.
yes. So talk about Hive in that arena and maybe your 1, 2, 5, 10-year plans.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Hive has been, as I'd mentioned, has been running GPUs as an Ethereum miner since 2017. So this is something where a lot of companies are sort of jumping on the trend of high performance computing. It's been part of our DNA since day one. So, we are building a very strong high performance computing system and business with a company called Buzz, and that's 100% owned by Hive, and has got a very strong run rate right now. We've got facilities in Sweden and in Canada, and what we're doing is, with some of the announcements we've made, we've purchased a facility near the Toronto airport in Canada. We've got a partnership with Bell Canada to get some stuff into their data center. And Bell, being one of the largest telecommunication companies in Canada, has a lot of flow and institutional customers within Canada that want that sovereign data. They want to make sure that their data is being run on computers within Canada. And a lot of your listeners are in the US. They want to have their data in the US, and it's that sovereignty both in Canada and the US that people want. And it's something that we've got a great pipeline of building stuff slowly but very aggressively to take advantage of that demand out there. It's something that we think that we can probably 5x our revenues in the next 12 months. That's with the Bell deal and also with the Toronto data center. And from that, I see as the tip of the iceberg of being able to take that from, let's call it potentially 100 million annual run rate within a year to, 2 and 3. And it's, what do they say? The first million is the toughest for an investor. Once we get this going and the relationships that we've got, it's going to really snowball. And we're doing a great job of getting our name of Buzz out there. And within the Canadian space, we had some people at a huge conference, AI conference in Montreal a week or so ago. And people are really interested in what we're doing. They're excited about it. And they're just realizing how big we are within the Canadian marketplace. We're not a small fish, we're a big fish in the Canadian data center marketplace. And we're going to continue to build that along with our Bitcoin side. And it's a dual-pronged approach that can really drive the revenues, really drive the bottom line, and build Hive into a bigger and bigger company each and every quarter.
So talking with Aiden last month, and Frank, you guys have set some pretty ambitious goals here. So tell us about those goals and where you're at on meeting those goals.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 2025 has been what we'll call the breakout for Hive in terms of our expansion. We've been sitting at around 6 exahash globally up until about February. And with the online that we're bringing with Paraguay, we've got our 200 megawatt facility in Iguazu, which is fully operational. We've started the plugging in of machines and the hashing at our Valenzuela facility, which is 100 megawatts. And we're running at around 20 exahash right now. So we've moved from 6 to 20 since February. We're on a very smooth path to get to 25 exahash by American Thanksgiving. And that will bring us potentially to around 12 Bitcoin a day being mined from where we are right now at 9. And I don't see this as being the end of our expansion. What we're finding is there's a lot of people that see what we're doing. We've proven that we can execute on these kind of deals, and it's helping out the local community down in Paraguay. We're lighting streets, we're putting air conditioning into some of the schools, and I think a lot of that comes back to what Frank being in the gold space. I've spent some time, in my past with the hardcore mining. Is when you go into these communities, there's a social aspect to it where you need to be part of the communities, or we feel you need to be part of the communities and give back. So with that, I see us continuing to expand on the Bitcoin side. We've always got deal flow coming through, but we're making sure that we pick and choose the right ones that fit within our sweet spot so that we can do it profitably, do it very efficiently, and also continuing to look at whatever we can on the high performance computing side. So it's, we're always running, sprints, getting this stuff done. We've got an incredible team with Aiden leading it and Frank, and we're continuing to push forward because, this is, like I say, the early innings of this space. But we're continuing, we were one of the first people out of the gate back in 2017, running as a publicly traded cryptocurrency company. And we're going to continue to grow. So this was our 2025 is our coming out party, but we're not done yet.
We've been on the line with Darcy Daubaras. He is the CFO of Hive Digital Technologies. Thanks for taking time out from your busy day. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel.
We're leaking. We're leaking, Dennis. What are you doing? We're leaking.
So Gouldsby is commenting here. Giving you some of the comments. He says we cannot count on inflation being transitory. He also says they may be reluctant to continue the rate cutting cycle here. Maybe Brentster in the background can go look at our Fed tool. I know it takes like 15 minutes to adjust. I'm not sure I have that information in here yet. But we definitely have Gouldsby here coming in and hitting the market just to a certain extent here. I mean, Fed speak is one thing, but we are definitely uncertain about the December rate cut. So when you see commentary like this, you're like, ooh, maybe we won't get it. So I think that is a little bit of the reasoning for the recent sell-off here. Also, if you're following this aviation story, the Federal Aviation Administration is working to hammer out details of flight cuts set to start tomorrow. So, Joel, you may be okay here yet. We will see. So that's a.
I'm gonna try and sneak out tonight.
Do what you gotta do.
Okay.
Do what you gotta do. Earnings, lots of them, but you know what? So we're going to cover more of these, but it's probably going to be over on STN. What we do have, though, is rumors about Marvell Technology here breaking this morning. This morning, I believe. Marvell, SoftBank. This was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, really
SoftBank,
early.
You have the rumor, Brentster?
Yeah, see, Bloomberg, SoftBank flirted with a Marvell takeover to supercharge ARM. That was the Bloomberg report.
So Marvell, don't call it a comeback, but it's a hell of a comeback. Left for dead at $61 in September, is now back up, and it was actually over $100 here this morning. It has went back under it here. Joel, this has been a dog for a very long time. Marvell has not been a good place to be, but it has come back in the last couple of months. Now, question. Is this more of a rally to sell? Obviously, if the stock is taken over, stock is taken over. But, this is, the rumors here this morning. But we know from Brentster that rumors often don't materialize here. From a technical perspective, ignoring rumors here, what are your technical thoughts on MRVL?
My technical thoughts or anything over 97.57 is gravy. That was the recent high of the move. That was last month's high. That's level. I know we're trading above it, 99.09, way off the high, way off the pre-market high. So I wouldn't expect to, unless something materializes, 104.05 was that pre-market high. So rumors are rumors. If you think it's getting taken over at 105, 110, then just hold on. I no idea where to buy this thing.
Can we just go back to the overall market here? Because, obviously earnings have been driving the bus, but we are going to come out of earnings season. Tonight, we do have a few things, though. So we're just, some housekeeping before we go to overall market talk. Is the Tesla vote for the Elon pay package ended last night. So we should get results 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock is when the meeting starts. 4 p.m. Eastern is when the annual shareholder meeting starts. You can, there's going to be people in the audience there on site. I believe you can listen in virtually. So I'm not sure if we're going to hear, I imagine we're going to hear something at the meeting itself, but I also would expect Tesla to issue something formal via press release or an SEC filing later tonight or maybe even tomorrow.
Yeah, and it could even come rumors break sooner than that. I would imagine somebody's going to get this. They already think it's approved, but they don't know. That's why Tesla was rallying yesterday and had the big pop, because obviously if this doesn't get approved, what's that mean for Elon? So this pay package getting approved was probably a main reason, that the stock was rallying yesterday, is rumors that it is going to pass. So the rumor right now is that it's going to pass, likely going to pass. What does that mean for the stock? Well, it probably means good things, but a lot of that maybe got priced in. Is this already all priced in? Joel, quick technical on Tesla.
Oh, well, I'll do a technical. I mean, you've had some nice spikes here. My question is what did Elon say what he's going to do if it doesn't pass?
No, nothing.
No.
Okay.
No indication as far as that.
Recent high of the
probably
move.
Be a revote or something.
474.07. That's if he gets approved and it's a spike, that's been the recent high of the move. Coming back on the downside, this 441, 442 area looks like pretty good support. You're building a higher base, so take out that 474.07. Recent high of the move or closing high 468.37.
People asking why would that make Tesla go up? Because it gives you Elon's certainty. So this pay package is long-term Elon $1 trillion pay package here. There's lofty goals. And I mean, if you hit some of these lofty goals, it's going to be really good for the stock. So it gives you Elon's certainty. Elon obviously has a lot of involvement in a lot of other companies, but you get this huge package and it gives him that, hey, he's in this Tesla for the long run here. So that's why it's probably good for the stock. It doesn't get voted in. And he's like, okay, well, the shareholders, aren't, supporting me here. What does that mean? So it opens up a whole can of worms if it didn't get, approved. But it looks like it's going to be approved. Other companies reporting tonight. There are over 200 companies reporting again here today. I believe the number was 230 when Brunster was looking
something like that. Yeah,
a crazy amount. Next week is light. This is it. This is the last hurrah. Tomorrow is light as well. So this is the last big day of earnings. There's not a lot of huge names on there, market moving, names not like Apple's and the mega caps, but there are some big names on here. We still have NVIDIA coming up too, so that's a big name in the future. But the numbers are going to get less. So we have IREN tonight, Affirm. We have SanDisk, which has just been a monster SMDK. We've got MP Materials is going to report tonight. I recently took a long-term position MP report for full disclosure. OPEN is an interesting one. So Open is going to report here tonight. Obviously, this stock has become, very much loved by the retail community per Eric Jackson. I want to do a quick technical into the Open report here, which is tonight, because this stock has been on standby, basically waiting for earnings.
It needs to get a bid and stay above the 50-day 759. A little bit of a pop. You have a trio of highs at 850. Coming back on the downside, you filled the gap near $6. So if they, $5.96 if you're looking on the downside. I don't think the earnings are going to improve that much in one quarter since it's
well, it's going to be not about the earnings. It's going to be about what they say.
Yeah.
It's all going to be about the conference call. What do they say? How's it looking? I think it's outlook that's going to matter more than anything for OPEN. So obviously it's not market moving, but it's an interesting stock. Other ones, Airbnb, DraftKings, which has just been murdered, is going to report here. Obviously, if they say anything okay, the stock could get a relief pop because this stock just goes down seemingly every day. I know it's popping here this morning, DKNG, and I can see it trading up because they got this announcement of an ESPN partnership, which was announced at 8 o'clock. So this was breaking from Bloomberg here. So DKNG is up 5% on that. But even at that, if you bring up the DKNG chart, Joel, it's, leaked away a lot of those gains here too. When you have stocks that are in these death, spirals and just in really hard downtrends, they get these news spikes. They're usually selling opportunities. So this again this morning, same thing, gets over $30, gets up almost $31 actually this morning, and already has given back over half the gains. So, I mean, there's just so many people who are buried on this thing. It's why we talk about it all the time, overhead supply. So I think, we've got to be of the opinion here, guilty until proven innocent on DKNG.
Way off the pop. Yeah, if you're looking for support, maybe at the close. We just went red, Dennis.
This is Goolsby.
This is Goolsby.
100%. This is Goolsby. He just was speaking during the Hive interview here. We didn't want to break in over the Hive interview there to break that, but that's why I want to give you that information as quickly as we could. So this is like Fed speak. So all of a sudden, you start questioning we're going to get December rate cut. If you can look one more time just before we end the show. I know we're going a little bit over time, but I'm sure people don't mind. If you can look at that Fed tool, because I would imagine commentary like this, Brentster, commentary like this has got to be a little adjustment happening there. So right now, December was like, when we went in, when we looked yesterday, I believe December was a 75% chance for a rate cut. So like it was up over like 88% at one time.
I think yesterday it was around 70, maybe 71 or something like that. Or no, excuse me. It was 70 last week. I think I seen it hit like 62, 63% yesterday. Let me add.
Did it go that low?
Yeah, yesterday it did go really low. One sec. Let me just add to the stage.
Sure.
Remove. Here we go. Okay. So what I'm looking at here, and a little tip for using this, here's your little timestamp down here. This tells you when it was updated. So Dennis, and this is in Central, this is 8:52. So when did Goolsby comment?
Right around then. So Goolsby comments might not be in this number here.
So the number here is 69%. We need a couple more minutes here.
Those are comments that make you think that, hey, they may not cut in December. So inflation, like, again, just to give you those comments here once again, here are the ones that were moving the overall market because we moved here down. Crap, I took it off my screen. But it was commentary to inflation may not be transitory, and that December, that they may actually not cut rates in December.
I may be reluctant to continue the rate cutting cycle.
That's pretty blunt, pretty flat out, like Goolsby is saying, I'm kind of out. From my own personal perspective, he's like, I don't think we should cut rates. So that's one, it's only one. There's only one, obviously there's lots of voting members there. So there's only one opinion, but it's letting you know that this is not a slam dunk by any means.
Those little hints, for sure. And the exact comment was, at least that I'm seeing, we can't count on inflation being transitory.
Yes.
Fair warning.
Okay. So that's what the conversation will continue over on Stock Trader Network. If you haven't signed up for your free trial, come on over, check us out, stocktradernetwork.com. We're over there. We're talking. We have lots of content again today. It's going to be fun trading day, lots of strategy. Let's go.
All right.